Hey everybody, welcome to League of Legends Anonymous Podcast episode 206. I say that this time with confidence because I know it is episode 206 because I just wrote it down. And this week it's just a two-man. That's really the best, quality content that we could bring you is two men without a third dude to spoil it.
I like it. I like the chemistry.
It works. It works. So, it's me this week, and you just heard him. Zill is here.
Hey.
So, this week we're going to do, for our rant, I want to talk about the new additive ranked tiers and what they're doing with that. I think that's pretty interesting, and I think that'll actually help. So, I want to kind of give Riot a little bit of a pat on the back, but one eyebrow raise and finger wag for putting iron below bronze. That doesn't make any sense. Objectively, iron's a better metal.
Yeah, that's not how it goes historically either, right? It's like
Right.
Bronze Age first and then
the Iron Age. Because if you've ever tried to hit bronze with iron wins.
Yeah, bronze gives away first.
Bronze is a very, limp-wristed metal.
Interesting. I guess they were just going for shine factor.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's better than copper.
Brilliant.
Well, they had copper, and they had tin, and they're like, but what if we mix those together? And they're like, holy shit, this bronze stuff is amazing. Right up until somebody invented iron, and then they were like, holy shit, we're dead. Because these guys invented iron. So
why didn't they go with Wood League?
So they actually answered that. They said
Oh, really?
there are too many memes about Wood League that it would feel like a punishment if you were in Wood League. And so they didn't want it to be like, you're terrible. You're in Wood League. Wow, wow. And they also thought that it was so funny that people would intentionally dive their accounts to be in Wood.
Interesting.
Because it's like a meme that people buy into that and be like, I've got a Wood 4 account. And I think maybe there's some merit to that.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
It's
People
too
are people.
funny. I mean, it's too funny to not want to have a Wood account, I guess. Because, I mean, bronze is just, there's no comedy to it. It's just the bottom of the ladder. But
Right.
Wood, there's some comedy to that. Or if you did plastic or, dirt, or just
Right.
ore, because unrefined metal. I think that would have been
rocks.
good. If they just did ore league, and it's just the symbol is just a lump of rock. Everything else has swords and helmets.
It's at the end of the season they give you a lump of ore.
Or they could have
as
done copper.
rewards.
I mean, copper is clearly inferior to bronze. That is why bronze is an alloy of copper. Makes sense. Or tin. Tin sucks.
10 would have been good.
Yeah. I mean, there's tons of, dick-ass worthless metals that are totally befitting the bottom of the tier. But that's like being like, yeah, we named this league Steel, and we put it below bronze. Nope. Sorry, that's an objectively better metal. What the fuck are you guys doing? The only reason bronze would be better than iron is if you're memorializing booties, and that's it. I don't mean butts. I mean little kids' baby shoes.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you dip 'em in
I was
bronze.
thinking butts.
I know. I saw that blank expression on your
That's
face,
sweet.
and I was like, no, little kids' shoes.
Okay.
I'm gonna bronze your booties, and then you're like, this is how small your feet were, little
I'm gonna
boy.
bronze your booty.
Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you?
I would
Dirty
like
old
to.
perv. Anyway, so back to the ranked discussion. Somebody had asked me about this the other day, and they're like, hey, does this actually help anybody? Is this going to even really make a difference? And I honestly think it will, right? Because they highlighted two different areas that they thought there was a tremendous skill gap between the bottom of the tier and the top, right?
Sure.
And so to understand the why of it, let's break down the the elos by like how many people are in each one. Right? So to give you some perspective, the dead center of the ladder, like if you are the 50th percentile, any person that you meet and they say, I play League of Legends, you can walk up to them and flip a coin, and if it lands heads, you're better than them. On average, right?
Right.
So the coin is going to be correct 50% of the time. You are silver 3. So that's pretty interesting, right? It's like most people don't realize that, hey, that is the dead-ass center of all players. Silver 3 is the cutoff point where you are in either the top 50% or in the bottom 50%, right? Which is fucked up because that means the top 50% still divides out into the rest of silver, gold, plat, diamond, masters, challenger.
Sure.
So there's 6 divisions above you. And the bottom 50% is half of silver and bronze. And if you think about the amount of just raw players, there are not a lot of spaces there to express skill in. So for bronze players, you end up getting like this huge variation of skill diversity. Like some bronze players are much better or much more coordinated than other bronze players, which creates ranked frustration because the elo is so disparate.
Right.
Okay, this fly is going to drive me crazy. It just landed on my face. Anybody who's watching the YouTube, get...
It like literally landed on his face a moment ago. It's hilarious.
Like it was on video. It just landed right here on my nose, and it did it again. I am moving. I am moving around. This is not supposed to happen. Like flies are supposed to be timid creatures.
Like rolling garbage before this podcast?
No, I didn't do anything. I had no dead animals in my basement. Like nothing. So I can't explain it. But okay. So, yeah, like, bronze players get really frustrated because, like, man, I'm bronze 1, and I get paired with bronze 4s, and that's a huge skill difference because, like, bronze 4 may be truly bad at everything, or they're just good at, like, one thing, or there's, like, a huge skill differential where somebody who's, like, bronze 1 has at least some skills. Like, you have a skill set that's, like, somewhat developed. Right? Like, you've got things that you're good at. And so it can be quite frustrating if the difference is so high. Right? Particularly bronze 5 and 4. So, Riot says, okay, we recognize what's happening, so we're creating iron, and instead of leaving bronze at the bottom, we're going to move iron to the bottom, which makes no sense. And then there's going to be that division, and then bronze is its own thing. So it kind of at least spreads out the bottom of the rung.
Sure.
And that makes sense because I think with the more differentiation you have at the bottom, the easier it's going to be for people to actually climb because you will be paired with people that are around your elo but that aren't like wild swings better than you.
Yeah. Do you think this will have another effect or an effect on other divisions as well? Like, sure, this affects bronze mostly, but do you think it'll affect like silver? Will silver be less toxic or anything like that?
No, silver will always be a shithole. Okay. Like, so there are 2 divisions of, and it cracks me up because Astros went off on a rant. He's like, I would rather be bronze than gold. Gold sucks. And I'm like, you have no amazing. Fucking idea. Like, gold is the best elo that you can be in.
Absolutely.
Because everybody is way more chill.
They're so chill.
You like
especially gold 3.
I was like, okay, so here are the divisions that just suck ass to be in all the time. Okay? Silver. Everybody in silver believes they should be in gold, and they're mad about it. They want to get to gold. They get angry. They bitch at their teammates. If I'm not from my shitty ass team, I'd be gold. I want end of season
Perpetually
rewards.
tilted.
Yeah, that
constantly.
is a major milestone. Like, you want that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get it. And so you get mad whenever you don't get it, and it causes people to be toxic. Toxic silver players are absolutely a thing. Okay, yeah, silver sucks, right? Gold is great. Everybody's got their into season rewards. It's like gold is like a lobby of like men right after sex, essentially.
That's
You know,
about right.
Because you're just,
And they're all smoking cigarettes.
they're all like
it's
just pretty relaxed.
chill
Like, man,
AF.
it's all right. I got there. I
Oh,
feel
good.
pretty good. Maybe
And
I'd
you're-
like
you-
to go again in a little bit. We'll continue the climb later, but I feel pretty good where I'm at right now.
Oh, you want to swap roles? Oh, that's fine. No
That's
worries.
cool, baby.
Oh, you want to play Zillion top? Yeah, no biggie. Like, not gonna fuck with it.
Right, and I mean, it's cool. We do whatever. You want to try out some new shit? I've seen Zill get his fist all the way up to his anus to the elbow.
Wait, what?
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 You didn't want to share that?
No.
Oh, okay.
That was not-
I mean, I
that was not
haven't
meant to
seen
be
that
recorded.
happen. It's really actually pretty impressive. But anyway, so that's gold, man. Gold is sweet. Gold is like the land of milk and honey. Then you get to plat. Low plat is all right. People are just happy to be in plat. You start getting to plat like 3, and then people start getting a little bitchy.
Yeah.
Then in plat 2,
It's usually the junglers too. They like
Yeah.
try to run the game from the jungle.
like it's a command center or something in the jungle.
Exactly. That
Like
like all
it's-
my laners do
It
this.
is fucking Vietnam in plat
I'm going to
3.
invade. You better be there to support me. I know you don't have priority, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
So plat 3, everybody becomes a fucking field marshal for the team. They think they know how the game is played, and they think they have all these skills, and they demand everybody do things, right? Plat
Sure.
2, everybody gets toxic. Plat 1 is just the worst elo I have ever been in. And it's like everything that everybody hates about rank condensed into like, you can buy like a jug of orange juice at the store, right? And it's like yay big, right? And it's just like Minute Maid, pulpy orange juice or pulp free orange juice. Enjoy
Okay.
your big ass fucking jug. And what do you do with that jug? You pour it straight into a glass and have a great breakfast, right? But they also sell a little frozen container that's like yay big, that's concentrated orange juice. And you're supposed to take that and dump it into a pitcher and then dilute it with water, right? And then fill up your jug, and it's like, that tastes like orange juice, kinda. That's the idea anyway. That's why it's
Okay,
cheaper
where,
than...
where are we going with this?
So plat 1 is like if you bought that thing of concentrated orange juice that's just super sour if you don't dilute it in water and tastes terrible, and it's like somebody told them that that's not orange juice, it's a popsicle. Right? That's plat 1. Because you sit there and you just take hard bites out of something that's supposed to be drank, and you hate every minute of it, and it tastes terrible, and you're like, why am I doing this to myself? Oh, I just got to get to the bottom of this shitty popsicle. And it sucks. Every minute. Every fucking minute sucks. That's plat 1. Because, like, the second anything goes wrong, surrender.
Oh, chat-
I'm fucking
chat
done.
explodes.
Fuck you.
Surrender, yeah.
You're the worst player I've ever seen. You're on my int list. Blah, 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 blah. Because it's like everything that everybody's seen from, like, I'm a top of the tier challenger player and I hate everyone all the time. Whee! That shit actually happens in plat 1 because they think they should be diamond, and it is a huge milestone to hit diamond. That's like,
Right.
I proved to myself that I could do it. That's huge. And everybody really wants that. It's actually
probably
like
the biggest milestone in the league, right?
I mean, aside from like maybe getting like challenger for the first time.
Sure, but like
But I mean-
people that's attainable by average folks, right?
Sure, yeah. I mean, you could if you devoted yourself. I believe that people could hit diamond.
Sure.
But oh shit! I dropped my cap to my drink. Oh. Anyways,
It's not concentrated orange juice.
yeah, no shit. At least it's not a popsicle. So anyway, Platt sucks and is terrible. But for the sake of this rant, right? Let's talk about what they did and kind of for context. There's a post that was on Summoner School from a guy named Chaos Revealed. And he did all the math for me, so I thought this was pretty cool, right? And they said, okay, so we consider jumps. And what they define jumps as is like half of the player, or like you cut in half what the division is, right? So if you're moving up in rank, you're better than now like half the people who were ranked higher than you before, right? So, for example, you start at the 50th percent, that's silver 3, right? And if you go up to 75%, so you're better than half of those people, right?
Sure.
So you go 75%, and you are at gold 5. Right? So two divisions of silver separate 50 percentile from 75th percentile. Right? Okay, that's cool. So, amazing. Now, next jump, 87.5 percentile. You are at gold 1. So you jump to the 87th percentile. You are now at gold 1. The difference between 75 and 85% is the entire ELO of gold.
Right.
Cool. All right, let's jump it again. 94th percentile, plat 4. So like if we are jumping from, like again, another whole half of the remaining player base, you go up by 2 divisions into plat. Plat 4. 97th percentile, which is, again, cutting in half. So that puts you up to plat 1. 98.4 percentile, diamond 5. Like you've hit diamond at a 98.4. Congratulations. Right? So let's keep going. 99.6 is the top 0.4%. You're at diamond 4.
Eek.
You know, so you have doubled your skill base and gone and like cut your player base in half. You've gone up by 1 division in diamond. Right?
Yeah.
Well, that sucks. So let's jump again. Oh no, wait, I missed one. I'm sorry, I skipped one. If you go from 98.4, which is diamond 5, and you go another jump, then you to 99.2 percentile, you are still in diamond 5. So you jump from diamond 5 to diamond 5.
So
Then-
Diamond 5 0 LP is its own division, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, then you cut that in half again, and you jump to diamond 4. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fucked up. So we're going to cut that in half to the top 0.2%. Diamond 2. Top 0.1%. Diamond 1. And there's still 1,800 players who are better than you. Okay. If you jump again, you're at the very bottom of Masters. If you jump again, you're at Mid-Masters. If you jump again, you're at High Masters. And again, this is cutting the player base in half that's ahead of you each time.
Right.
So there are 3 different Master tier jumps that you, to get from the bottom of Masters to the top, you have to make tremendous leaps in skill. right? Okay. After 3 jumps in Masters, another jump and you're in Challenger at the very bottom. Remember, it only took like 3 jumps to go from silver to plat. Because it went silver 3, gold, plat. Silver 3, gold 5, gold 1, plat. So 4 jumps, right? But then it takes like 9 more to get to Challenger. And like 5 of those are in Diamond or something. So, yeah, Diamond Division truly is overcrowded. And as someone who cracked Diamond 4 and was in Diamond 3 promotions for a while, you know, there is a huge skill gap between what you see in Diamond 5, Diamond 4, Diamond 3, and Diamond 2 and 1. To the extent that Diamond 1 through 3 should really be its own ELO. Like, absolutely that should be its own ELO. Because it's not even the same game. It is more different than any other ELO I have ever been in. Right? Because it feels like everybody does this. Everybody, you get into an ELO and you go, okay, gold 5 feels like silver. Right? And then you go,
right.
Well, gold 4 still has a little bit of silver left in it, but it feels like gold. Gold 3, congratulations, you're in gold.
Right.
And then gold 2, you're still in gold. Gold 1, you're still in gold. It doesn't feel all that much different, but yet you've made it, right? But the difference between silver 1 and gold 1 feels really different. Like those games feel different. Right? Same thing with plat. Like the difference between plat 1 and gold 1, hugely different.
Mm-hmm.
There is more difference than that between Diamond 5 and Diamond 3. So them adding another master tier spreads out the top of the ladder and then therefore makes Diamond, like the people who are clogging the top of Diamond will move out. And then like high Diamond just becomes more attainable. And
right.
It becomes more of a real rank than it is just a wrestling match with fate. So, yes, it makes a huge difference. And I think that's really going to be the story difference with that and everything else. And I think actually stretching these things out even further, there will be a small, I don't really think you're going to feel much difference in like plat and gold. Right? Like I don't think that's going to feel a whole lot different. But bronze will. And I think bronze will benefit from that.
Bronze will feel different, yeah.
And I think silver will, to a certain degree. But
Okay.
Anywhere you get into like high silver through plat is going to feel like high silver through plat. I don't think that's going to change. So, okay. That rant is now pretty much concluded. And I just thought that was really easy because if you consider like cutting in half of what the player base is, that's a very good like section. And to show like start and end points kind of puts all that into perspective. So, okay, the other thing that we're going to do today on the podcast is we're going to answer some of the questions that we had sent in. We've tried to answer these questions individually, like send people back stuff, right? But some of the questions were good and I thought could be beneficial to answer for everyone.
Yeah, some of the questions are even I have questions about actually. So
okay, so Zil, what
Pretty cool.
questions? What questions have you got?
So yeah, like this last one here, about. So the guy says, past the 15 or 20 minute mark, I seem to fall apart, and my CS plummets. and the other team is either able to leverage any leads they have, or I don't know the right calls to make to leverage our leads. What would be the best way to diagnose and fix this problem? And so I actually played, well, I play ranked every week, but I played a couple of ranked games a few days ago, and this happened twice. The one instance I really remember, though, is when it's like mid-game, bot lane lost. They just lost their tower. And Kai'Sa came mid to like basically farm under my tower mid lane. I had the most farm. I was ahead of my laner, but she comes mid lane and she kind of like starts dividing up the resources. But they have like a super heavy engage comp, so like I can't really leave her there because they'll just dive her, and she can't clear the wave fast enough because she's so far behind. So like it was, I could go bot and like pick up those waves every once in a while. I could like rotate wherever, but like I really needed to stay mid, but we just like sank together as a sinking ship instead of originally it was just her losing. She like brought her loss to my lane. Now this is not something I usually have problems with, but in that instance I literally didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether or not to leave her or to stay, and we just ended up ramming ourselves into death. So I don't know. I think it relates to that question for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about that, because there's a lot of things that enter into this question, and I found myself susceptible to it whenever I play ADC, right? Mm-hmm. And because like I have a very like aggressive laning style, which lends to taking early towers when I do well. And so, like, we'll kill the other bot lane, then we'll put a bunch of pressure on their tower, we'll go back and buy, kill the bot lane again, put a bunch of pressure on their tower, the lane goes down, right?
Right.
And then at that point, the question is, well, like, do I rotate mid? Right? We're going to take the dragon, probably. Do I rotate mid and help push that tower down? Do I stay in my lane? Do I keep pushing? Like, there's a ton of options there, right?
Right.
And a lot of people end up like what ends up inevitably happening in any, like even in Plat, like this is an issue in Plat too, is that the game will start to become an ARAM where everybody will just gravitate towards mid as
Sure.
like whoever's left over, whoever's out of their lane will start rotating towards mid. And what that will do is like their ADC will stay in lane and farm, and their support will roam mid too. So now we have a 3-on-2 mid, right? Mm-hmm. And that kind of stalls out. Maybe you get some tower pressure, but it's not like you're just busting the tower down, right? It just kind of stalls out. And then their ADC gradually just builds up a wave, and then it gets pushed into the bottom tower. And then usually when that wave hits the bottom tower, they'll go, okay, we need to go back down to bot. And they'll go back down to bot, and they'll push out the remaining wave and a half, and then they'll go right back to mid and try to re-exert that pressure.
It's like there are rotations. It's not a pure ARAM, but it's like mostly ARAM. It's really close.
Mm-hmm. And like people do that because, you know, they're like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do, right? I'm supposed to be putting pressure mid. I'm supposed to rotate and force that tower. Like, that's my job, is take more towers. Towers are important. That's true. Towers are important. But you can always take towers through map pressure. So, here's how you kind of avoid this situation. Think about your movements on the map in terms of CS loss after your tower, right? So, I'm going to push my wave out. Like, I've won my tower. I'm going to either freeze and then deny the opponent's CS as long as I can hold my wave in a safe spot. But once I lose control of that and I've shoved the wave, like, let's say I've shoved it past where their existing tower used to be, right? The tower I just blew up. The wave is now on the other side of that. There is no way I can CS that safely without vision control over the entire bottom side jungle, right? And if I don't have that, that wave is unCSable to me. So my
Right.
CS loss is 0 because I shouldn't be there. I can't farm it. Right? So
Sure.
being anywhere else is literally a better option. So I should go mid. I should go mid and help push down that tower. Most of the time, their bot lane will not freeze farm. They're just going to shove the shit out of the lane back at you. Right? Okay, so watch for that. And when that lane, before it actually hits your tower, you need to be back in lane. Or else you're losing CS. You're losing CS to other minions. You're losing CS to tower shots. You're just losing CS and your numbers are going down while their ADC's numbers are going up. And unless you trade that CS differential for actual honest-to-God map pressure, you're just losing.
Yeah.
You're losing your lead. Right? So, how do you do that? If there is a 3-to-1 imbalance in mid, dive them.
Okay. That's where I think my solution was. Yeah.
Like, you have a 3-to-1 imbalance. How many times in bot lane can you pull off a 3-to-0 dive post level 6? Because you're probably not taking your tower before 6.
Yeah.
Right? And all you have to do is have somebody tank tower while the other 2 people kill the guy.
Yeah.
And so if you do that, there's no one left to defend the tower. That mid tower will go down. Because there's no one there for wave clear. Or you pull their jungler. Like after you kill him, you pull their jungler in there and he has to defend the tower. Okay, well now their jungler's not jungling. He's mid.
Right.
That's fine.
pressure
It's
elsewhere.
lost resources on their team. So option 2. Let's say you can't dive because their mid is like ridiculously fed or something. Okay, you put a ton of vision in the bot side jungle and then you continue to push. You continue the domination that you've already got in the bot lane past that turret. And you watch the mini-map like a fucking hawk. So, if the jungler shows up, you have to back off. It's not, unless you can 3v2, you have to back off. If the mid laner starts roaming down, you have to back off.
Yeah.
Right? But if they don't, and a lot of times, any elo below plat will not do that. Like, they don't help their laners. They're like, well, you lost. That's your fault. Sorry,
Yeah.
you're 0-4. And in reality, they should be trying to help, right? Trying to shut that mess down before it becomes an insurmountable difference. But they don't do that. They're just like, oh, you made a problem. I'd rather bitch at you about it than actually try to help you fix it.
Right. If I don't help you, you're the excuse I have.
Yeah,
for
it's your
losing this
fucking
game.
fault that there's like a 0 or 10-0 Aurelia. You know, you're bad. You're a fucking idiot. My team lost because my lane, fill in the blank, is a piece of shit. Okay. I mean, cool. But if you've got your boot on their throat, then set up the vision to where it's safe for you to continue to abuse that. If you do, you don't have to rotate mid. You can take second tier bot. That's fine. Then it's harder for them to rotate to stop you from taking second tier mid or top or whatever. Right?
Yeah, true.
And also those deep wards will let you know where their jungler is, so it lets you know if you can safely dive them mid.
Yeah.
Like, all of these plays are available if you have information to be able to do something about it.
I think the diving when you outnumber them and like having the vision to know that you're safe to do that is like absolutely the key for a lot of those problems for me. So yeah, it's one of those things where like I remember sitting in lane, speeding up the thresh and being like, go do something with this. He just ran around in circles with his hook. Right. Oh God!
I'm gonna stand in front of you. I'm gonna juke.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pretend like I'm gonna throw this hook. Am I? No, because then I'd be under tower. Well, you know, and that is a problem. Like I've always said, general over respect of tower damage is a problem because people act like towers are.
Especially when there's a zillion there. Like Jesus
Yeah,
Christ,
I mean,
kids.
Like people
I
like
can chat with
towers are
pretty
like
much anything.
Moonraker lasers or something, and it's just gonna like bzat, and you're dead. Like,
Yeah, I remember I had like 190 farm at 22 minutes. Like it was pretty gross. Like it was
okay,
good.
here's your other low elo tip for breaking that problem. Push the wave mid, go to Rift Herald, take it, and bust a tower with that for free.
Yeah.
That stops you. You don't have to dive. You let the Rift Herald do it.
Right.
And then you have another tower. More map pressure is open. More warding is possible. Then more aggressive plays are possible in that lane because you have that information.
Yep.
And that kind of stops the ARAM cycle.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, so I think I've answered that question pretty well. Is there anything else that you can think of that...
Now for that, no.
Okay, cool. Okay, so somebody asked us, how do you prepare for a jungle gank? What they meant was, how do you prepare for your team's jungler to gank for you? Right, or at least that's how I took the question, right?
Yeah, I mean, I had that conversation with this guy, and it was kind of in the context of like, he felt like every time, his jungler would come, and it would be the standoff of like, who's supposed to go in first? And, like jungler was saying it was him, and then he was saying, well, no, you're the guy who has all the CC, I don't. Just kind of like, what do we do when it's time to gank?
Okay. So I'm going to approach this from two different directions. First things first, like if you're the jungler, and this is the thing I see get fucked up the most, right? So last night on community games, I actually answered this question. The problem was my son decided it would be a good idea to walk downstairs without pants on, and so I had to delete the video from the stream because, yeah. I mean,
Probably
the T-shirt did a pretty good job, but at the same time, there was definitely 4-year-old butt cheeks, and so we cut that. Because, I mean, it's the internet, and I don't really want some weirdo pervert on my 4-year-old.
Yeah, you might run for president someday.
I mean, I don't think that would stop him if he's 4, But still, it can't be good. So, and I didn't want to get like a Twitch ban or something for child porn. That would be like, local lawyer caught with child porn.
Oh,
like,
Lord.
no. Like, so anyway, we had to delete the video. So I'll just say what I said then because it's still super important and relevant to this here. When you go in for a gank, everybody wants to use their gap closer first, right? Like, I'm a moo-moo. I'm going to walk in, I'm going to throw my bandage at you, and ha-ha! Now I'm on you. Zap, here's the rest of I'm going to cry, I'm going to do my little tantrum move, I'm going to do my damage, because I got you, right? That is actually not what you want to do. It's actually the opposite of what you want to do. Like, Zill, you have some experience with this. Where am I going with this? Like, what do you do instead?
I mean, in my mind, you try to like walk in a direction and gank at a path that like actually cuts the person off, so that they have to use their flash or whatever it is first, and then you can use your gap closer to CC them or get them after the fact. Otherwise, if you just use it instantly, it's hard to chase them down after that. They just walk away.
Right.
I would say that changes if your laner has CC that they can chain, because then you want to start that so that chain can be completed.
If you can chain them to death, yes.
Right.
Okay, so
I think if you're Darius, you can, right?
Yeah. If you're any high damage champion like Darius, Lucian, Draven, fuck it, chain them to death. But here's the trick. So, like what you said with the moo-moo, for example, how would that look like? Well, first off, you're going to come out of the jungle, you're going to run into the lane. They're going to be like, oh shit, a moo-moo's behind me. Well, here we go. And they're looking for your bandage so they can dash it or flash it. Right? They're going to use whatever move they've got to try to dodge your bandage and get out. Right? Okay, so you just keep walking at him. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, shit, he's really close to me. Well, now I have no choice but to dash or flash.
Right.
So then they do that, and then you hit him in the back with a bandage. And the funny thing is, like, your skill shot accuracy will go so far up because you're forcing them to choose a direction, right? Like, and this works in bot lane too with hook champions. There are times where I will just literally walk at someone who's in hook range. They know they're in hook range. And they're like, oh shit, I'm going to get hooked. I better dodge the hook. And then they start juking left and juking right. And I'm walking straight at them. And then all of a sudden, I'm really fucking close to you. And I've done nothing but just walk at you. And I basically caused you, got you son of a bitch, to juke yourself. Sorry, I killed that.
Held your skill shot there, didn't you, Blake?
Yeah, I had that son of a bitch. Death is the best CC, baby fly. That wasn't the one that was on my face, though. That one's still awaiting death. Anyway.
Still at large.
But yeah, like, I'm forcing you to juke yourself. I'm forcing you to do something, and then I can snipe you, right? Mm-hmm. Of course, if they have nothing to do, you know, like they don't have an escape and you know it, then still do this because you force them into a harder to dodge situation, right?
Sure.
And they'll like try to move left and right, but they're right in front of you, and so then their left and right movements matter less, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so CC chain, that is a good point. That is a good exception. If you have a lane that has a whole bunch of gank assist, then sure, go in, they set up a gank, you CC chain on top of that gank. The person never is able to move until they are already dead, right?
Yep.
And that's like, oh, I have Lysandra and they have Nautilus. Or like, I have Lysandra and our jungler's Nautilus.
Yeah.
You're dead. Like, in fact, you were probably dead at Champ Select. And that sucks, and I'm sorry. Because, you know, Lysandra can literally just E into you, ult, then root you, then slow you. Nautilus is going to hit you with an anchor. Then he's going to auto-attack you. Then that ult's going to knock you up in the air. And you haven't moved for what feels like a year. Like, you don't survive that. Too much damage, too much CC.
I don't know. Yeah.
So then it doesn't really matter how you play it. You've just got to land CC. If you have point and click CC that cannot miss, use it. Because the whole point, so the whole point is to make sure you get on the person something that's going to stop their escape, and then you pummel them to death. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, let's look at it from the other vantage point. I'm a laner, and I'm wanting to set up my opponent for a gank, right? Okay, so first
set up your opponent?
Yeah, set up my opponent for a gank. Like,
oh, right.
I want my jungler to come in and kill my opponent with me.
Yeah, I think this is where the heart of the question really is.
And yeah, this is the heart of the question. So I'm going to set up my opponent with the gank. So I'm going to clear the vision first. Like, I'm going to provide a path for my jungler to gank that I know is clean. Right? Mm-hmm. Or if I can't clear the vision, I'm going to watch where they put down vision, and I'm going to warn my jungler not to go through there. Right? So it'd be like, ping, 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 vision here, go that way. And I'm going to set that up and let him know that that's what's happening. Okay? So that's first things first. You got to either clear vision or ping where vision is clear. And you have to let the jungler know that is there, right? Secondly, you're going to do some minion wave prep. You are going to freeze your wave in a beneficial spot in your lane. And what I mean by that is that the lane either needs to be pushing towards you and is on your half of the river, so there's more space for the gank to be executed in before tower, right? And or you kind of even out the wave where it's outside of your tower. I mean, just outside of tower range is the best possible way you can do this. Right? But that takes some skill. I'm not going to talk about what it takes to freeze a wave or how You need to freeze a wave or doing wave control because Solo Renekton Only made insanely good videos about exactly how to do wave management. So you manage the wave, freeze it right outside your tower, show the gank is clear, and then the gank should happen, right? Yep. So you freeze the wave in a beneficial spot. Bait the enemy in for a fight just before the gank, but do not die. Okay? So, ideal gank, you 2v1 the enemy. Still a good gank. I trade the enemy poorly because I know they're going to out-trade me, but I also know that they're not going to be able to resist that trade.
Mm-hmm.
So I take a bad trade, but I do a bunch of damage. Then my jungler goes in and finishes off the guy that just burned all of his cooldowns on me. Right? Here's how that backfires. I put my neck out against a 3-0 Zed. Well, without a game plan, I'm dead. Like, if he uses all of his shit on me, I'm just dead. And then the jungler, who's lower level than Zed and not 3-0 or 4-0 now, has to figure out how to 1v1 that guy. Even without cooldowns, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
Right? But if I can get him to, like, throw out his shadow and throw some shurikens at me, then it's game on for a gank. Or if I get Lissandra to use her dash, it's game on for a gank.
Yeah, you have to know your matchup for sure. Like knowing how Zed is vulnerable when he throws that shadow is a big part of that. Like know what your lane opponent can do, and then there's a little bit of like acting involved. That's where the bad trade kind of stuff comes in. It's like, oh no, I'm vulnerable. You're going to catch me, and then like boom, your jungler's there to nab him in the back. Like just when they think you look juicy.
Literally the worst thing you can do is do something entirely out of character that you haven't done all lane.
Yup.
Because you're just like, shoot off the flares and the red flags are all flying at full mast. Like, oh, and by the way, you're getting ganked right now.
I'm really looking to kill you.
I'm going to run straight at you, even though I haven't done that all game. They're like, no.
Like, yeah. That's instinct, and like gold 3+ like people know this. As soon as you start just walking straight at him, something's up, and they're just gonna back off.
And the other thing is like, if you do that, it's like huge red flag that whatever. But there is a time and a place for that, and that's if they have gone so far that they literally cannot escape your gank at this point. Mm-hmm. Then you run right at them. That's fine, because it doesn't matter that you've tipped their hand, or you've tipped your hand, because they've already lost.
Right.
So, fine. But, like, don't do that before the gank is there. Cause, because that just, you screw up everything.
Dead giveaway.
Dead-ass giveaway. So, all right. We had another question that was tips on how to climb as a support. And so I answered this question, and I said, hey, here's the big things. You need to watch the UNSW LOL Society video, particularly video 17. And I think that's Advanced Bot Lane Trading Support Focus is what that video is called. I think it's 17. I'm not 100% sure on the number. But I sent him that video. I said, you need to watch this because that will automatically help your 2v2. The other video that you need to watch is retaliation trading, because people do not do that. And in a 2v2, that makes an enormous difference. Like, if you get free trades in a 2v2, the lane is over. Right? Mm-hmm. So that's another one that you can easily improve as a support. Like, that's how you can climb, is by exerting a ton of pressure. Right? Secondly, we talked earlier about like how the difference in an ARAM mid and a game where you actually exert map pressure is vision, right? That is your responsibility as a support, is to set up those vision plays. You need to call it out that is what I'm doing. I need a escort to go through their jungle, and we're gonna ward out like key areas in their jungle so we know if they're in rotation between towers. If you do that, you've literally opened up a huge section of the map for playmaking or continued map or tower pressure. That will help you. That will help you climb because your team has more information available. Also, you can use choke points in the jungle to set up vision traps and create a pick that way. So, like, example on bot side where the red buff is, if you drop a pink ward in the very edge of that bush that's on the other, like on the backside towards the base of red, everybody who's rotating from mid down to the bot lane, unless they're rotating from like river, they will come through that area. And if you have a pink ward there, they cannot see you. You can catch and burst anybody in rotation. Or you can hurt them so bad that they can't defend the tower. And I mean, just that little vision play where I know I'm going to get the drop on somebody and they can't afford to fight me back may win you huge dividends of just objective control and focus. That kind of stuff can also get you dragons.
That's true.
So, also Baron. You can't take Baron without appropriate vision. If you don't set it up, then you're never going to get it. So, those things are enormous. The last thing that I want to talk about in terms of climbing as a support is you have to commit to 2v2 fights. And whenever I say commit, I mean use your entire fucking kit. Once a 2v2 fight is on and it is to the death, you commit to that fucking fight. You use all of your abilities, you use your health bar, you use your summoner spells, you use your flash, and you use your goddamn auto attacks. Like, these are all things that, like, in bronze, I see, or like bronze and silver even, I see people go, I'm playing support Lux, right? And I mean, I'm not saying I have Mastery 7 support Lux. She's not actually that bad as a support, but I'm playing support Lux. Okay, I'm just going to throw out an E and then detonate it on him. Okay.
You go, girl.
That's a you do you, baby girl. You know, there's like so many better ways to play that, but you know, that's what I'm going to do. Because I am Lux, and I have tons of range.
That's how I play support.
I'm just going to throw out my E and boom. You know who's better at that? Zillion.
Did my job.
I'm just saying, you know who does that better? Zillion.
True.
You know who, and he's like not considered a high pressure support at all.
I think his laning phase is shit
Oh,
in
yeah.
comparison even.
But it's
to
better
Lux.
than support Lux if you
Really?
don't do anything else. Well, no,
Okay.
that's the thing. Like, if
Sure,
you
okay,
just
sure.
throw an E and you detonate it and you don't auto, yeah, that sucks. That doesn't do a ton of damage. It like whittles them down. Even if you max E first, which is what you're supposed to do, it still doesn't matter, right? It does some damage, but it's less than a double bomb. That's for sure. So, I mean, yeah, you got to use your whole kit. You got to use your E, land your Q, throw in some autos, throw it, you know, EQ, alt, auto combo is real sick. And whenever I say use your whole kit, use your ignite before they're dead. Like, I hate this. This is like a pet peeve of mine is when people, they go, that guy has 5% health, ignite. Right? And the better time to do that would be when that guy had 30% health and you were all inning.
Right.
Because at 30% health, whenever he gets low, he's going to hit heal. And if your ignite was already on him, that heal is going to be half as effective. Because your grievous wounds from your ignite. And so you know you're all inning throw the ignite before he has an opportunity to realize he's low. Because you'll lose a fight if they get off their heel before you get off the ignite. Like, use your damn abilities. Commit.
Cool.
Okay. Do we have any more questions? I thought we had like one
I think
more.
we kind of rocketed through those. We did pretty good.
Okay. Well, I don't see the other one that I thought I had written down, so that'll do good. Hey, so let's talk about the tournament. You had some tournament announcement. People have been asking for that. So what's up with the tournament?
Yeah. So I have closed tournament sign up. You can no longer sign up for it. If you really want to play, you can talk to me. We might need a sub or two. So just message me about that. However, tournament is going to be on October 3rd, at least. It's going to kind of like replace community games that night. It's because it's a time that people normally set aside for playing with the community. So yeah, doing October 3rd, which is Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central. We have 50 people signed up, which is crazy. So I'm going to try to get in touch with those folks and set up teams probably by the 26th of this month. And then you guys will know what team you're on. You guys can talk to each other and start strategizing and all that. Looking at it right now, the spreadsheet, I think I can get everybody's requests as far as who they want to play with and everything else. It should go pretty smoothly. But if anything comes up, I'll let you know. Just one note about that is that although I will try to achieve balance when I create teams, but of course, as with community games, balance is not guaranteed. Unfortunately, I don't have enough math and enough computers to actually like figure out exactly who would be the best. So I'm going to do what I can, and I'll try to make things fair. And I won't be playing, and so it won't be stacking anything for anybody or anything like that.
Hey Zil,
So,
I
what's
figured out that there isn't just one fly. There are three. And they've been Huey, Dewey, and Louieing my ass this entire time. And I thought they were the same one. They're not. So,
They're tag teaming you. That's great.
yeah, like it's like an old cartoon where like I think the kangaroo is a mouse and it's not. It's like there's a kangaroo and there's a mouse there, and I keep going after the mouse. The kangaroo kicks my ass. I'm getting three-wayed by flies, and it's fucking annoying. I finally saw all three of the sons of bitches on my coffee cup. So, I'm going to get something for down here. I don't really want a fly swatter, but like, maybe like fly paper or something. That seems awful enough.
Do what you gotta do, man.
Gotta return that suffering.
Yep.
So
okay. So yeah, tournament October 3rd. Teams should be out by September 26th. So, and then just in regards to community games, we are locking homerooms until about 5 minutes before, and then I'll unlock those and we'll have everybody join for that. And that's just so that new people who come in and think the games are at 8 o'clock don't find out that all the spots are basically taken. And
well, I mean, okay, so a little bit of background on that. What we were doing is we were creating these rooms that had 10 spaces, and people would just join whenever. And the first 10 in the room, that's community game 1, and then room 2 would fill up, and that's community game 2. And the idea was that we were supposed to start at 8 o'clock, but people would be in those rooms like earlier and earlier and earlier to where like people were there at like 7:15 camping out for community games.
Right.
I didn't ever think that was a thing that we would ever have to deal with. So I was like, well, that's cool. Well, why don't we just like run the games early so we can get more games in? That seems like a great idea. Well, that created problems because then people were acting like everything started at 7 instead of 8, and people would sit in the lobbies AFK, or they would sit in muted and deafened, and we couldn't get a hold of them when the games were ready to start early. And they just thought, well, I can sit around muted and deafened until 8 o'clock, and then I'll just turn it off. Well, it's like, well, no, because we could start games earlier than that.
Yeah.
This whole thing has been, like, we've just tweaked and tweaked and tweaked it to try to make starting earlier, like, voluntarily starting earlier a thing, when in reality it just caused more problems than it was solving.
Right.
So a more fair way to do things is to say, hey, 5 minutes till 8, the room's unlocked. Hop in. And then I don't have to worry about muted and deafened people being AFK. You're either there or you're not there, and we're going to start the game.
Right. It's chaos, but it's fair.
Yeah, it's fair chaos.
All right.
So
come ready to play, and if you want to play earlier, you're more than welcome to do that in any of the other rooms. It's like we're not saying don't play with each other. We're just saying community games will have some structure. And structure is good for everybody.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we just a brief announcement. We have heard you guys request that you want us to have Ashley back on to talk about the climb in silver and how that relates to you, like what she's facing. And a lot of people talked about really enjoying that episode. And we tried to have her on tonight, but she was unavailable because Canadian winter is coming. And she had to chop firewood and, make clothes.
I can't tell if you're joking right now.
Well, like make clothes out of walrus blubber.
Okay.
And
that sounds like you're not joking.
Yeah, no, these are real Canadian problems. Also, she had to.
Do you find a husband for the winter? Is that like a Canadian thing?
Yeah. You pick the man in the village with the thickest beard.
Yes.
And then you pick the Canadian woman with the longest fingers, and you pair them together, and then they have weird-looking winter children, and they're adopted by the village in a lottery system.
Okay.
Canadians, man.
I mean, these are new things I'm learning, but like they all make sense to me.
Yeah, and the fattest is thrown into the sea. That's just how Canadians are tough people.
All Canadians just have the sea right outside their doors.
Well, yeah, I mean, the joke of it is, if they live in kind of the center of the country, the fat kid walks to the sea, and by the time he gets there, it's kind of pointless.
Okay.
Because he lost the weight. So,
I have a very vivid imagination. So this is like yeah. I'm seeing a lot right here that I didn't know anything about.
Yeah, and I mean, like not only does she have to make the firewood, but she's got to carve out her bear beating sticks and everything. Because I mean, it's the winter, so that's when the bears eat the people.
That's true.
Without the bear beating sticks, you got to have those. So I mean, needless to say, she's got a lot of shit to do, and she didn't have time this week. But after the most of next week, I mean, we fully expect that the Canadian winter will settle in sometime between September 20th and September 27th.
Okay.
Because that's when Canadian summer ends. Is mid-September. Because that's like the week of sunshine that they get. So this is the only week she's got to do that stuff in. So she'll be back, and we were trying to get her on the show this week. She wanted to be on the show last week, but we had other plans, and I forgot to invite her. And then next week, we're probably down to do that again. So if you guys have any questions or anything you want for Ashley, hit me up in Discord, send me a message, do whatever, email the podcast. And we'll ask some questions or whatever and go from there. Okay. Hey?
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right, man. Well, with that, we will hit you guys up next week. Good night, everybody! Is that your goodbye sniffle?
Yep.
I'm super excited.